Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts, the Super Vader 400, Mr. the Fanboy, and the Brown Skin Human, coming back at you with another show and fight review. And this time I'm reviewing Bellator MMA 245, Phil Davis versus Lyoto Machida. The first in this off-camera webcam portion, the entire show. Then, the second two parts, the second and final parts will be the the fights between the first fight between Raymond Daniels and the main event of Phil Davis and Lyoto Machida. My two main reasons for tuning into this event. This was a average show from Bellator. I enjoyed it. The biggest problem I had with this show was that it took place during this stupid COVID-19 pandemic. It took place during this stupid COVID-19 pandemic. As such, they had a bunch of empty arena. They had a bunch of empty arena-based shows. So so that's one thing I was disappointed about. When I heard that Bellator would be returning, I was kind of hoping they would be returning to regular shows, but they're doing empty arena shows just like professional wrestling. So with that being said, but the show itself was okay. The show started off with Raymond Daniels taking on, what was his name? Peter Stanek. Peter Stanek. That was his name. That was his name. This fight right here, it started off good. It started off good, but it started off good, but it all went to shit as soon as Raymond Daniels low blow Peter, low blow Peter, and he accidentally did it twice with a accidentally did it twice, and the two fought to a no contest. Really disappointing way to start the show. The next fight ended way too quickly with the guy. What was his name? Taylor Johnson defeating Ed Roof by submission heel hook. This was over fast. I skipped the females match to do my daily workout. Then the main event, Phil Davis defeated Lyoto Machida in an entertaining but highly disappointing main event. It was disappointing because they didn't really do much in the fight. Both men were kind of scared to face each other. Well, this was the event itself. It's good to be reviewing and talking about Bellator again. Well, now time for me to review the fights. So let me hit my grand entrance right now.
I came here to fight. Let me show you how to knock out a light. I'm the second one of the impacts, the third of the strength. I'm the resurrection you needed here to bring you to life. I'm the reason you came to season, so you better get hyped. And I'm punching you with a hurricane, grabbing a knife. And I'm cracking you with a plank till you crumble and slide. And I'm snapping your neck, shoulder check, beat you to death. You waking up with my psycho power crushing your chest. I'm the new era, a new age. Slay prey with dash strengths and three blades. The day Dido bodied you on the big stage was important to you, but for him,
it was Tuesday.
Alright, this is my first fight review of the Bellator 245 live pay-per-view televised event. This is my boy Raymond Daniels taking on, I can't remember his name. Can't remember his name. Don't worry, it will be when this video is finished downloading and completed and uploaded to YouTube. His name will be in the description box and title box above, and definitely in the intro portion of this video. But right now I can't remember his name. Don't really care much for his name in the first place, because I was here to see Raymond Daniels. Raymond Daniels and the main event are my main reasons for tuning into this Bellator event. And like I said, this part is also a rant. The fight started off good with my boy Raymond Daniels. Both of them started off boxing in kickboxing, moving, dancing, and moving around the cage. Yes, this was a pretty good. It started off as a pretty good athletic cage fight, which is what I want to see when I tune into the MMA. Um Raymond Daniels immediately got the advantage. And when I um I accidentally missed. Well, then then to win round one. Then round two started. Apparently, round two started. I left to go to the bathroom during the commercial break and accidentally came back too late because when I came back it was already round two and the opponent was on the ground clutching his crotch, which indicated he got a low blow, and I was right. Then he tried it again. They started off dancing again. Then Raymond Daniels hit a beautiful jumping crescent kick, spinning back kick. My bad, spinning back kick to the guy's crotch again. This one looked more intentional, but it was once again unintentional. Even though it looked intentional, I was actually mad. I was actually mad at I was actually mad at both fighters, especially Raymond Daniels for this. He should have went for the high kick. As much as I love that spinning back kick, it wasn't necessary. He should have went for that kick, that type of kick I just did. He should have went for that kick, but instead he went for the spinning back kick and ended up hitting the guy in the nuts again. And then, well, I was conflicted. Okay, even though I wanted Raymond Daniels to win, for them to give him the win, that would kind of be unfair because Raymond Daniels technically low blowed him twice, but I didn't want to see Raymond Daniels disqualified and the other guy win. So I guess the best decision was a no contest. A no contest. Everyone was disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. This is why you wear cups, people. This is why you wear cups, and this is why you train self-defense, man. This is why you train self-defense. Boxers and kickboxers, and every other form of stand-up fighters are much more athletic, much more eye coordinated, and much more battle trained than these. No offense, the offense taken, wimpy cage fighters. Like I said in part one, I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna be talking about these. I'm gonna be ranting about my problem with MMA as a whole in a whole nother video. But so yeah, yeah. That's what that's what I'm gonna be talking about. Well, like I said, this was my short review and rant on Raymond Daniels' fight. Now, time for the next fights. Hey everybody, it's time for my second and final fight review of my long Bellator 245 live pay-per-view telecast event. And this is the fight between Phil Davis and Lyoto Machida. This fight right here was it was good. I enjoyed it, but nothing really happened in the fight. Both Lyoto Machida and Phil Davis were kind of afraid to attack each other. But one thing I did like the brilliant display of kickboxing, martial arts, and boxing, and footwork in the match, technique instead of the brawls and stuff. And I like how they both tried to start on their feet before Phil Davis. I think it was round two or round three. It was late in round two. Finally, when they were getting nowhere with the punches and kicks, he finally tried a wrestling technique. I like how what's his name. That's how I like my MMA fights. I like the first couple of rounds to be a fight, then the last rounds be a wrestling jiu-jitsu fight. I hate people who do that first. So I at least like that. And Phil Davis won as I wanted, and as I quote unquote quote unquote predicted. He's the younger of the two. And in my opinion, he's the better, more exciting, and more all around fighter. And he won a 3 round decision. That I did not predict. I actually expected a knockout. One of these guys to knock each other out. I didn't predict that. And yeah. And after the fight, Phil Davis, he said he won another shot after his next fight. He wants another shot at the gold, and I want him to get back there too. I think it was either Matt Mitrione or Ryan Bader. He lost. He lost to one of those guys. He lost his belt to one of those guys. I want him, and I was so mad when he lost. I think I didn't even review the event. Did I review that event? I don't remember if I did or not. But I remember being angry that Phil lost, and I want him to get his belt back. I consider Phil Davis to be the best fighter, and now with Chandler leaving and David Rickles. Well, David Rickles was never a top guy. He was a popular fighter there, though. With those two guys leaving, being free agents, according to Wikipedia, being free agents now, Phil Davis is the franchise of Bellator. Alongside the Patricky brothers is the franchise of quote unquote Bellator, especially with King Mo retiring. So yeah. Yeah, this was my review of the Phil Davis Lyoto Machida fight. Not much happened other than a couple of punches, kicks, punches and kicks from both men in round 1 and 2. Then late in round 2, Phil shot the single arm into double and went for the wrestling takedowns. And then the third round was them standing up doing the same thing again. Like I said, both men were kind of afraid to attack each other, but a good display of martial arts and still a pretty good fight. Just not the explosive battle I would expect from these two fighters right here. So with that being said, I'm finished for now. If you don't want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now.
A new age, slave trade with dash straights and 3 blades. The same guy don't bodied you on the big stage was important to you, but for him,
it was Tuesday.
You think I'm scared of you punks? You read with jump. I see you, all you doing is jump. I'm the reason you run. You should have given me your entry fee. You buying me lunch. I can't even be the best. You ain't taking me, son. 2,000 people and I'm a straight 2001. I came to stare them in the faces when they tell me I'm wrong. Hit them with jump strong. Make sure as you get it gone. The science of a fireball, something to inspire y'all. Started small. I came here to evolution to evolve. I'm a nation at its prime. Masterpiece. The greatest kind. Super Street Fighter 4. It's about damn time. I'm the new era, a new age.